Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out. Gosh, it must be warming up because we have almost a full house tonight. So first off, let us welcome to the stage Jesse Eugene.
Slowly turn to gray. It's just a distant memory that time stole away. Island of green, sparkle like a jewel, and in my distant memory, yeah, time fades away. Green, sparkle like a jewel, and in my distant memory, yeah, time fades away. Ocean of blue, slowly turn to gray. It's just a distant memory. Yeah, time fades. Yeah, time fades. Yeah, time fades away. I'd change it up and play a little electric guitar this time, you know. Good to be back and see everybody. Some good familiar faces, of course, except for Cole. I've been living on an empty shelf. I got to be and I can't reach myself. I know that I've been living the dream. I get to feeling like the teacher's pet. Today is gonna be the worst one yet. Yeah, I know life ain't what it seems. It's just the way she goes. It's the way of the road. Yeah, I know that I'm not gonna find the truth. It's just the way she goes. It's the way of the road. Yeah, I know that I can count on you. I've been reaching for the biggest prize. I cut my teeth and I burned my eyes. Yeah, you know I realize that I'm living a dream. I get to leaning on my windowsill. You know I feel lonesome like a whippoorwill. Yeah, I know life's not what it seems. That's the way she goes. It's the way of the road. Yeah, Let me tell you what you wanna see. It's a strange world of possibility. Let me show you what you wanna hear, and I promise you, I'm gonna let you down easy. 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 So many things that I wanna see. Don't wanna think about my age or ability. I gotta live where there's still some trees, so I can keep a level mind. Don't tell me what I wanna hear. I know it's a strange world of endless possibility. Let me show you what you came to see, and I promise you, I'm gonna let you down easy. Gonna let you down easy. Gonna let you down easy. I'm gonna let you down easy. There you go. It's throwing me off a little bit. Usually I play with some foot percussion and stuff, you know, so hope it don't sound too slow. Why don't I work like the other men do? Real hard to work when the sky's so bright and blue. Hallelujah, hallelujah, gonna get out on the road again. If I was to work to save all that I earn, I could buy me a brand new car and have money left to burn. But that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a bum again. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Good Lord knows just what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna get out on the road, my friend. It's the same old thing, no matter where I go. Rich folk ain't no fun, I'll be hanging out with the poor folks. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I'm gonna be a bum again. You do you, man, and I'll do me. We're living in the land of milk and honey. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I'm gonna get out on the road again. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Good Lord knows just what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna be be a bum again. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Good Lord knows just what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna be a bum again. Hey, thanks. That's an old traditional song that I completely rearranged because I thought it was really boring the way they played it. You know, it's just like one chord the whole time. You know. Like what the heck? No offense. I mean, the lyrics were really cool. You know. Can I play one more and then yeah, call it good? One meal a day, and it's a midnight snack. One meal a day, and it's a midnight snack. And I'll tell you one thing, you know I ain't turning back. So don't you bother come around trying to beat me to the punch. You don't even ask me, hey Jesse, what you doing for lunch? Cause it's just one meal a day, one meal, it's a midnight snack. One meal a day, and it's a midnight snack. One meal a day, and it's a midnight snack. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, man, I ain't ever looking back. Hey, thanks. Yeah, that's about it for me. I appreciate it, guys.
That was the one and only Jesse Eugene, everybody. Yeah, deserves a round of applause. All of this will be, except for what I'm doing right now, I hope, but the rest of this will be on YouTube later, so check out our YouTube channel if you haven't, and it will also be on channel 150. 180. Channel 180, GRTV. So big thanks to Mark and everything he does here to get us looking and sounding pretty here. Okay, looks like we're good. So I'm going to step aside and welcome to the stage Mr. James Steinley. Steinley, right?
Well, this is going to be a little different than what we just had. So what I want to do is take you on just a little voyage in your mind. And I wrote something that's called The Zephyr. So pretend in your mind that you are this Zephyr. And let's go for a little spin, shall we say. I wrote this back about 30, 40 years ago or so, so I don't have it memorized, so I'll have to read it. But it goes, I am a wandering zephyr, a wayfaring breeze. I come and I go, and I do what I please. Sailing across bright meadows and turning down paths, I explore and I wonder to see what each has. Walking just ahead of me is a flaxen-haired young maid, and with tresses so golden, she is a pleasure to see. I ruffle her hair so that the curls fly free. Catching her quick smile, I pass on by to where the wildflowers grow, to hear them say, hi. I watch them nod on their stems, acknowledging my presence while they converse with their friends. I slide quickly by me, and before me I see a tree reaching skyward, so I decide to climb high. Up through the treetops, I move through the leaves. I can hear them murmuring together. They sound well pleased. I can hear them ask each other, did you catch the name of that breeze? No. They answer each one to the other, for so quickly it was here that it passed on further. I have no time to stay and chat. I'm just too independent and just too busy for that. Beyond the next hill and across the green vale, hide many things I must see, including the young quail. How much they have grown since the last time I passed by. And look how they freeze as their mother sees, the red-winged hawk riding aloft on the breeze. My duties lie before me, so I must hasten on to ruffle a curl and to cool a brow, to ripple the water as only I know how, to make goldenrod dance and the wheat fields sway, as in wave after wave they acknowledge my way. I am a wandering zephyr and a wayfaring breeze. I come and I go, and I do what I please. The zephyr. Yeah, thank you very much. Now on a little different note, I want to relate an incident in Duluth. I want to know, is there anybody here that has never been to Duluth, Minnesota? Raise your hands. One right here. Okay, well, since I have one in the audience that hasn't been there, I'm just going to describe this little place up here, this beautiful little spot. And I heard this story that I want to relate. It's about a guy named Jonathan Johnson. He was from Iowa. But in about, probably the late 1920s, I think is when he was born. And he grew up, but he missed the time for the World War II draft. So he came up there to Duluth from Iowa, and about the late 1940s. And for me, that was over 50-some years ago, over half a century ago, that I heard about this even. And that was a couple decades prior to that. But when you get up to Duluth, you have this beautiful Lake Superior out here, and then you have the downtown in this cove. And then rising up above is a hill that goes up about 500 feet. And it's on such a slant. It's like a 25-degree slant going from the bottom. Here's like about a 45. 25 would be about like this, trying to drive up something like that on the roads. Can you imagine what that must be like? And they had in Duluth, they had what's called the 7th Avenue West Incline Railway. They actually had, in the 1890s, they started a railway track that would go up this 500 foot height, and it went for up a half a mile, from down the bottom up to the top. And they built it in 1890, and they had to redo it again one time. But in 1939, there's a lot of other ways of transportation, so it was the profit margin wasn't there anymore. And so they scrapped it for the war effort because it was made out of metal. And because of the heat and the cold, that metal would actually shrink up to 3 feet or expand up to 3 feet. So they had to have it loose at the bottom. But anyway, the reason why I talk about that railway, because what happened was within just a few blocks of that avenue that went up the hill. There was other ones that go up there too, and I can't remember anymore which one it was. But this John Johnson, he came up from Iowa, and he rented a little room in a boarding house, and he was looking to maybe think about being a roustabout on the ore boats. Well, so he was going around, and he was down there checking them out, seeing where he might get a job. Well, while he was down there, started getting a cold, started sneezing, started coughing, and before you know it, he was really getting sick. And the people that he was boarding with took him to the hospital there, and he just didn't get any better. He was just kind of a weak person, I think, and he didn't have the immune system to build him up, and he just started getting worse and worse, and he died. And so they didn't even know where they knew he came from Iowa. He had talked about that, but they didn't have any record of where he was, where his parents were, or whatever. And so they had to try and figure out, okay, now what are we going to do with him? So the city decided, well, we'll have to bury him ourselves, and they had to, up on the top of the hill, one of the avenues that went up there along that big 7th Avenue track, there was a little tiny plot of a cemetery up there. And so they had the mortuary and say, would you take him up there and have him buried? And so they got a local minister, and the mortuary guy, he had 3 other individuals that would help him, kind of young people. And so they went up there, and they had a cart that they put the coffin on, and it was a cart that had the wheels that would fold down and fix into place. And so they put him on that and wheeled him up then, just going up onto the grass, kind of a hard packed area. And as they were looking at the grave and fiddling with the grave, and everybody was just doing that, and they weren't paying attention to this coffin on this trolley, and the trolley started slowly going back down towards the street. It actually hit the curb and dropped over, and they heard it, and they started running for it. But it hit the other curb and got turned, so it headed downhill. Well, you know what happened then? This trolley and this cactus heading down this 25-degree slope. Well, Mrs. Kilpenny was sitting about halfway down the hill. She had invited a neighbor over from the other side of the street. They saw this thing going by. And she told the reporter afterwards about this, and it was just like a flash going by. And there's a couple little kids right there that were playing, and they jumped out of the way of this trolley and the cart going down. And it came to all the way down, and it picked up a lot of speed. Well, down in the corner in Superior Street, there was a drugstore at that time, Gundeson's drugstore. Mrs. Gundeson had just stepped out of the door because she'd been in there talking to her husband, and she looked up and saw this thing coming. And she jumped out of the way. And as she did, the cart and the casket went flying through the door, smashed the door to pieces, slammed up against the back wall. Mr. Gunderson, the druggist, was standing behind his counter there, and he told the reporter, he says, after for the Duluth Herald, says, that thing just smashed to pieces. I mean, it was like the lid flew open, and the guy inside, he just flew up kind of like that, and his one eye was kind of open. And the druggist said, I know I heard him say, hey, buddy, you got anything to stop this coughing? Okay, all right. That's the incident from Duluth.
Let's hear another round of applause for the Mr. Steinley and his incident in Duluth. Okay, so next up we have Alexander Kelso is going to sing a song for us. So we might have just a moment of setup to do, but let's welcome Alexander to the stage.
The world passes by, and we fade away. Each moment a lifetime that I wanna stay. Each moment a memory, both precious and clear. Each second with you now, I hold dear. Time's inevitable, so let's worry later, 'cause you're not forever. The world passes by, and we fade away. Your life is precious and without decay. Each night with you, dear, with comfort in hand. Forgot the lyrics. You're stuck in my head. Time's inevitable, so let's worry later, 'cause you're my forever. Time's inevitable, so let's worry later, not me today. That's the only song I had.
Let's hear it again for Alexander. I love seeing first-timers up on the stage, but I'm always afraid to bring that up when I introduce people. Many of you might have heard this story before, but I've been here just going on 2 years, so just a month or two shy of 2 years. But every time I see a new face, I'll come up and I'll say, okay, for the first time on the Great River Art stage, we have so-and-so. And then they'll sit down and they'll say, well, actually, it's been a few months, but I've been here before. And after the first time, I just thought, well, I'm the new guy, so that's all right. And then I did it a couple more times, and every time they're like, well, actually, I've been here a bunch of times. I was in a play here once. And so now I'm just afraid to even bring it up. So I think it's your first time on the GIA stage. All right. So. Well, thanks, and come again, please. All right, so let's see. Next up, can we welcome to the stage? I guess this one will be a surprise because I probably didn't give you prior notice, but let's welcome Jerry to the stage.
My name's Jerry Kester. Can you hear me okay? Yes. And I live in Deerwood, and I'm here because of Jim and Pat. And I like to write, and I've just got a couple short poems. And the first one is because my dad was in a nursing home after my mom died for less than a year, and I observed on all my visits to him the situation there. And so my dad happens to be the tennis player in this little poem. And I made up the conversation, but you'll get the idea. Let's see if I can do it this way. The way things used to be. I was a tennis star in my younger days. I played great basketball too. They say I was the best dancer in college. And now then, how about you? Oh, I was a swimmer, the long distance kind, and I coached and I taught many years. But I can't say much now about things. I'm silent behind all my tears. Sitting here in this nursing home, who knows what they were in their prime? A railroad conductor, a log splitter. They've changed with the passage of time. Lack of oxygen to the brain, that old Alzheimer's, and some medication can change appearances and mental capacity, so the brain just ends up on vacation. The sweet little lady in that wheelchair was a Phi Beta Kappa, you see. Now she is grouchy and sometimes confused, not at all what she used to be. Some of them are quite demanding, and some of them call out and swear. Sometimes they are too medicated, but they always need someone to care. Remember that aging's inevitable. Fortunate ones will remain very fit. Their minds and their bodies still function well. They're blessed with their talents and wit. The others, them, aren't so lucky. Disease or injury strikes. Grief and loss may contribute. One becomes less than one likes. So care of sorts is now needed, and the sensitivity of remembering as well that these souls who are now placed before us have interesting stories to tell. They can only respond as they're able. They may be inappropriate or sad, but these athletes or Phi Beta Kappas are often a mother or dad. Thank you. And this one is called Making a Difference. And boy, I just think it has come in handy. I've taken some trips and brought some copies along, and if I've been on a bus of 45 or 50 people, there are some people who make such a difference. And then I've had these poems at the end of the trip. I can write a little note and give them this poem. So I've done that. Making a difference. This world is full of many folks. Diversity, it's called. Fat or thin, dark or light, curly hair or bald. Happy smiles or droopy faces, laughing or complaining. Some people are just upbeat, even when it's raining. No rain, no rainbows. That is true. It's how we look at things. Attitude has everything to do with what life brings. There are very special people who make a difference here. Their sincerity and integrity makes them very dear. They are direct and honest. They mean everything they say. They say just what they mean. They have a friendly way. Even when they're quiet, not speaking, simply there. Their demeanor and philosophy are some things that they share. Some folks are very interested in people that they meet. They express a genuine friendliness to certain folks they greet. This is such a lovely way to function on this earth. It truly makes a difference, enhancing people's worth. We are all enhanced by a cheerful, sincere soul. This impacts on the way we feel and how we play our role. So hats off to the people who live and love life well. They may never know the lives they touch who come within their spell.
All right, Jerry, that was her first time on stage, if I'm not mistaken. So let's give her another round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're going to keep the readings going a little bit longer. I'm going to welcome to the stage a man who was previously seen on the stage as Cooper. What was the character's name in Rumors? Glenn Cooper, as a Mr. Glenn Cooper on this very stage in Rumors. We have some other Rumors alumni in the room, if I'm not mistaken, who also shared the stage with Aaron in a number of hilarious scenes. They were spouses. Is that right? You guys were spouses? Yeah. Was it happy? It didn't seem that happy, but maybe once the Stones were out of the picture, then things brightened up a little bit. But then Aaron was just previously in our last dinner theater in Harvey. He played the role of Wilson. Yes, Wilson. And how are you, Mr. Wilson? Well, who in the dictionary wants to know? Yeah, always with the hilarious lines. Anyways, I'm going to leave the rest of it up to Aaron. Let's welcome to the stage, a return to the stage, Aaron Trompeter.
Hello, how y'all doing? What?
Do you need to tell the mic?
No, probably not. How'd you guys hear me? All right? Scared? So anyhow, I've been recommitting myself to getting a little bit more time away from my career and doing things that are more useful than paying the government the money I make and picking up my poems. So this first poem, it's called, it's sort of a story, and I'm trying to turn it into a little children's book, and it's called Wouldn't Mama Love You? My mama went to heaven before you were born, and when I first held you small in my hands with the kisses coming fast, I thought to myself, wouldn't mama love you? Later, when you took your first steps and tumbled towards my arms with joy and happiness all over your face, I squeezed you tight and I said, God, wouldn't mama love you? Then there were the times late at night when you were sick and clinging and needing love and hugs and a patient place to heal and cuddle. It was at those times, while putting kisses on your head, while toying with your fingers in my own, or tracing the curve of your chubby little elbows, that I'd get lonesome, most lonesome, thinking to myself, how much my mama would have loved you. When we snow-tubed, when we fished, when we went camping, when we did nothing more than roll around on the floor playing hop on pop or horsey, at all those times when I saw your joyous face, heard your giggles when I tickled or watched you do your best and sometimes fail, at all those times my heart grew ever larger when you learned to drive, when you went to prom, when you graduated high school and then college. At all those times and more, I watched you persevere and strive and grow. And always I thought how much my mama would have loved you. Now the years have moved on and I'm getting old. Many thousands of days have passed only to find me sitting alone, gazing at the frozen lake again. I remember you out there, as a boy beside me, fishing through the ice I cleared and drilled, hoping to teach you how to be hopeful about catching something, anything, from the immensity of this great and patient frozen possibility. It is from those times and bundled depths of memory I managed to remember how I love you. I have lived long and have loved you deep into the coldest hour within the greatest of providing life watching over us. And the snows are drifting with me as I ponder once again your nearing arrival to this home. Your fine wife will be at your side. You will have that infant in your arms. Urgently, you'll place that little girl in my hands for kisses and hugs and brand new and everything joyous again. And you'll say to me then, Wouldn't Mama love her? Yes, yes, yes. Wouldn't Mama love you? Thank you. This next one I wrote for one of the bravest women I ever knew. She came home. She was one of my fellow teachers, and she was teaching 10th grade, and I was teaching 11th grade and seniors. And she came home one day, and she found her son in her closet, dead out of his own hand. So I wrote this for her because 3 weeks after that, she was standing in front of her 10th grade classroom. And I remember just wondering how she could look at all her daughters and sons out there, because they were all the same age. So I wrote this for her. And it's called Bloom and Grow. Has 3 voices. First an narrator. And he tells us, he says, all things bloom and grow, then comes the day we all will know. And then again, we bloom and grow in fields and forests where good men go. And in that place, we all will know there is a brook named Bloom and Grow. Upon its banks, you'll find the hands of those who left you in this land. Sit beside the bloom and grow. Take the hands you knew you'd know. We're there beside the swift and row. The generations bloom and grow. And he who left you this woe you know points to salmon as they go. There is no waste within this land. Take this life, take this hand. And those behind I left to grow, will they follow? Will they know? I sit beside the bloom and grow. I hold the hand which left the woe. I see the stream, I see the row. Is this something my parents will know? It is for them to hold our hands. It is for them to see this land. If they choose to bloom and grow, once again, our hands they'll know. How much time do we have? One more? So I got a couple, but they're not all heavy duty, you guys. They're like funny too. This one is from my fathering collection, because I got a bunch of poems about being a dad. And do we have any commuters here? Or anybody that's had long commutes before? Yeah, right on. This is called Daycare Twirler. I wrote it one day after my 35-mile commute, going 75 miles an hour, and everybody was just riding me like I was going 20, and I just couldn't go faster. And I was all stressed out. And I pulled up to the daycare to pick up my son, and there's no way I could go in there and be dad. I was just too really angry. So this is the poem I wrote instead. And it's called Daycare Twirler. She's probably an older 3 or a younger 4, that little black girl. She's not dark black, not enough to be labeled as some simple black, but a nice brown. She's not just a black girl, is what I'm trying to say. So, whatever. A beautiful dark brown girl stands briefly in a bright pink winter jacket. She has a pink hat. A pink scarf wraps her warmly as she stands on the other side of the fence at daycare, in the play yard, beside a climbing wall and a swing. I'm sitting in my little blue car, fresh from the commute and irritated by speed and greed for the open space given up behind me and wasted in front of me. It's all just too fast and gone. Fast and gone. This essential thing wasted in high carbon output, in energy overly consumed by consumables by a base carbon undeserving. I watch and wonder why and if I spin my wheels. I am tense. I am angry. I don't know if I want to be daddy yet or if I can be a patient daddy yet. The engine is ticking with heat, the grind of high temperatures and overdue maintenance. The electric fan is cooling steel and nerves. Before I greet my infant son, I began to watch this little girl twirl on her heels, a little girl with an oversimplified label such as black, twirling. Ha! Twirling ridiculously with her arms out and her palms up, she wonderfully circumambulates until she gets dizzy and falls flat on her rump. She then looks around. Her head sways with dizziness. Her deep brown eyes are drunk with pleasured freedom. I find that my head is loose on my shoulders because I am with her now. Haven't you been there? Haven't you done it? Can you imagine and remember spinning and twirling, the joyous falling? Her eyes are a little aloof, her brain a little swimmy inside her skull. She stands again, twirls, arms out and palms up, scarf akimbo, heels crossing each other and each other and each other until she falls again, flat on her rump. I find that I'm chuckling now. She stands again. And she starts brushing herself clean. She twirls and twirls and twirls while the other kids do their things on the slides, on the swings, on their commutes from station to station, endlessly grinding, running in the gravel and jocular with their own joys, getting scuffed and bruised on occasion while she twirls and points her face to the circular sky and clouds coming, going, coming, going, coming, going in her vision until flat on her butt again she lands, head pivoting on her shoulders, eyes loose in their sockets. Please see her. See this essential free child. She smiles to herself and looks to see if anybody is paying attention. Though I am not noticed, I am paying attention. The electric fan is off. The engine is cooled and the ticking has ceased. I do not feel so angry and wasted. I can smile now. I am smiling now. There are brown eyes and hazel eyes, dizzy brains, dizzy, me dizzy and grateful for this essential child absorbing my irritations, twirling them away and commuting my grind beneath her feet in a peak, spinning joy, joy, joy. Oh boy, I'm ready for another evening of daddy, daddy, daddy.
All right, let's hear it for Aaron again. Thank you so much for sharing. Surprise, everybody, you're going to cry tonight. That was deep. That was really beautiful. And it almost makes me feel okay for all the screaming she's been doing all night. Can I borrow that? Anytime she screams, I'll just read that one at open mic. Thin ice here. No. Okay, so yeah, let's actually also give Janelle a hand for me picking on her earlier. Too bad these spotlights don't turn around. But yeah, next time maybe you'll be up here. Okay. Anyway, so I'll get off stage because we have a little bit of setup to do for the next act. Let's hear it for Cole and Mitch and Jesse.
Hello everyone, how y'all doing? That's good, that's good.
Been cold
next tune is a older one. It's called No Chains. We played it here a couple times, I want to say. We'll see what happens.
Ain't got no chains wrapped around my legs, no. Ain't got no fear jumping in the barrel. What I got is you, my emotion, contradiction delight. Ain't gotta tell you, man, what is wrong and right. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. What you gonna do when the break your face down, burn your face in the ground? When the break your face down, burn your face to the ground. Just a little taste of your blood is what they crave. These just that you made. Don't tell us to pay. What I got is you, my emotion, contradiction delight. Ain't gotta tell you, man, what is wrong and right. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. What you gonna do to break your face and burn your face to the ground? When you break your face and burn your face to the ground. What you gonna do when you break your face down, burn your face to the ground? When you break your face down, burn your face to the ground.
Hey, thanks, Scott. This is Mr. Mitchell Arntz over here. playing them wicked 6-string here. And you guys saw before, Mr. Jesse Eugene slapping on the box. On the box. All right, this is a brand new one. This one's called Not Home. Rolling down my window, straight across the road. Where am I going? Does anyone know? Music loud like thunder, beating in my bones. Don't always know it. I'm not home. I'm not home. Not home. You could be beside me, I'd still be alone. I quit pretending long ago. Standing in the shadow, that's all I know. No one will notice. I'm not home. I'm not home. Not home. Not home. Well, I'm not at home anymore. Well, I'm not where I belong. Well, I'm not at home anymore. Won't someone please say I'm wrong? Don't try to find me, you're wasting time. I've gone for a reason, should have seen them signs. If I ever come back, it's to get mine. But as for you, I'm on down the line. Down All right. Thanks, guys. We are Cole, Mitch, Jesse, formerly known as King Cadabra. We are now Moondog, by the way. Moondog. Moon. Like bark at the moon.
Let's give it up for the band formerly known as King Cadabra and currently known as Moondog. Awesome to see them back. They just sort of slipped in under the buzzer before we got started this evening. So I was really happy to see them show up. So that's all we have here, unless there's anybody that wants to jump on stage last minute. But that is all we have. I'm just going to let you know we have lots of things happening. So go ahead and grab a schedule up at the front desk if you want. We've got Art Bar 39 coming back. We've got Deb Hess with some cool jewelry classes. She's got this cute little mother-daughter bracelet jewelry class. So if you're looking to make art or learn how to make art, we've got lots of stuff going on. Our children's summer camps have been announced. So we've got children's theater, morning and afternoon session. We've got Mastering the Messy for little kids, Mastering the Messy for slightly less little kids. We've got teen musical theater this year, and for the first time, we're actually offering a prop building and set building class workshop alongside the teen musical theater. So we've got stuff for kids that want to be on stage, and we've got stuff for kids that want to be backstage. So if you've got kids that are interested, let us know. Otherwise, thank you, everybody. And yes, would you like to jump on stage? Sure. Yeah. Sit or read? Sure. Do you have music, or do you need music, or do you have an instrument? Even better for me. All right, let's welcome to the stage. We have a last-minute addition. Stop the presses and take your coats back off. And it's a good thing that I can ramble so long. Let's welcome to the stage the lady already on stage, Janelle Betzinger.
Thank you. Sorry if you're on a time constraint. I don't know if I need a microphone, but if it gets too loud, I'll just pull it away. Just one song. At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over, and love is like a song. Oh, yeah, yeah. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you, I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. And I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I never known. Oh yeah, yeah, you smiled, you smiled. Oh, and then the spell was cast, and here we are in heaven, for you are mine. At last. Thank you.
Well, aren't you glad that we didn't all leave yet? And aren't you glad that I picked on her so much throughout the night? All right, well, let's give a round of applause for all of our performers tonight. It's a really great night, kind of fired on all cylinders. So thanks everybody for coming out. If you know anybody who should be on the stage who hasn't made it yet, please let them know. So thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night.